Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Quick Thoughts On, which is my small series covering different Star Trek related episodes. This week I'm going to talk a bit about the episode from the animated series called The Eye of the Beholder. The Enterprise is orbiting the planet Lactra 7. The reason is slightly more complicated. A science ship sent down a landing party consisting of 3 people, and they got lost. The other 3 people have decided to form a landing party consisting of, well, of course, 3 people, and they got lost. So what does the Enterprise crew do? They form a landing party consisting of 3 people, and they beam them down to get lost. That makes sense, right? Well, Kirk, of course, first watches the ship log entry made by Lieutenant Commander Markel, the Acton captain, how he says that because they don't have contact with the first landing party for 32 minutes, they are going after them. After 32 minutes? Really? I mean, police usually start to search for missing children after 48 hours, and Starfleet captains start to search for their missing crew members after 32 minutes? Wow. Now Kirk does something strange. He angrily says that it was against all orders, and that the acting captain of a ship, no matter his rank, must always follow the book. I thought it's supposed to be a joke, but no, Kirk seems to be serious about it. Almost like he never seen Star Trek before. Like Kirk forgot how to Kirk, if you know what I mean. Kirk, Spock, and McCoy form a landing party because, of course, they have to be 3 of them. And they take no red shirt with them, so you know immediately that nobody will die. They beam down and almost burn alive. Isn't that a great start of a mission? Kirk notices a different problem, a red dragon. And no, this time it's not Hannibal Lecter, but a real red dragon. They try to shoot him, but they can't hurt him. They were lucky, however, that the dragon got bored with them shooting at him and decided to go for a swim. Later, they get attacked by a different monster who looks like a grey dinosaur. They shoot him because it worked so great the first time, and the creature is apparently a great overreactor because it falls down in a very dramatic fashion. Spock and Kirk manage to run away, but they can't find Bones. McCoy is actually lying below the dead creature. Thankfully, they dig him out, because they would have to log that the cause of his death was being squished by a dinosaur's butt. Spock notices that the landscape changes drastically when they get attacked by stock animation, and yes, those lazy reused the same flying monsters they used in many other episodes. We have seen them twice before this episode. In one of them they were plants, in the other one they were robots. They even reused the same sound effect. That's a new level of laziness. Then something strange happens, but I'm not really sure what exactly. I mean, our heroes shoot them, and we see they get clearly shot and decide to return, but according to the dialogue, they did hit some invisible force field. But before you have time to think about it, our heroes get kidnapped by something what I can describe only as pink elephants without feet. These are the Lectrans, and they bring them to their city, where they put them into a cage. Starfleet officers get kidnapped by aliens and put into a zoo filled with creatures from all over the galaxy. Why do I suddenly expect that any moment a green slave girl will appear and start some erotic dance? But no, the snail elephants come back and bring them to a huge place full of strange alien creatures, and then Spock says that he finds them attractive. Well, thanks, Mr. Writer. I always wanted to know how do Spock's erotic fantasies look like. When the elephants bring our heroes to their new habitat, which looks like a recreation of Earth, they finally meet Lieutenant Markel and a woman voiced by Majel Barrett. Yes, I know she probably has a name, but with just a few lines of dialogue I see no reason for remembering it. There is one other woman, she is sick, she also has a name, but she doesn't even speak, so why should I bother? We get informed that the first landing party is dead. Why? Did Markel eat them? Did the elephants squash them? Did they get the same disease as the second woman? Why does Kirk not investigate it? Anyway, the creatures are apparently very intelligent and telepathic. Just like the other aliens who kidnapped a different Starfleet captain and put him into their zoo. McCoy concentrates on his medkit because he wants to be able to save the sick woman, and because the aliens are so intelligent, they give him a fruit basket. Okay, let's try it all at once. Thankfully that helps. Of course, that means it's a chance to escape. Kirk pretends to be sick too, and they think that they need the communicator. The alien child brings it to him. Oh, wait, if the child is inside the habitat, doesn't it mean that the force field is down and they can run out? After getting the communicator, Kirk orders Scotty to beam him up, but the child takes the communicator and gets transported on the Enterprise. It immediately catches Scotty and forces him to go with him to the bridge. Meanwhile, in the zoo, the parents of the baby snail elephant attack Kirk's brain, demanding to know what happened to their kid. The others try to create some sort of a mental barrier to protect him, but thankfully their kid gets back with Scotty and all is saved. The child explains to its parents that they're not some wild animals, but actual intelligent creatures, despite their behavior at the beginning, and they let them go. So Kirk orders the Enterprise to beam them back on the ship, but only the humans. Does it mean they left Spock down there to die in the zoo? This episode is funny. I'm just not sure if it was supposed to be funny. I admit I have a huge problem with the beginning. I understand that they need a reason why Kirk, Spock and McCoy would beam down to the planet, but wouldn't the exploration be a good enough reason? Or maybe they could receive a message from a bunch of survivors who crash landed there 18 years ago and now need to be rescued? Which is my second point. We have a story where highly intelligent, telepathic aliens kidnap Starfleet officers, put them into a cage in their zoo filled with creatures from all over the galaxy, and our heroes need to find a way how to get out of the cage. The same promise was used in the first Star Trek story ever, The Cage. I don't really know what tone were they trying to achieve during the sequence on the planet, where basically everything tries to kill them. I think the whole sequence is pretty funny, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be funny. I mean, McCoy got even stuck under a dinosaur. There are also a bunch of story threads which go nowhere. For example, did they ever manage to heal Woman 2? Why were Woman 1 and Markel in the story, except of course for stating the obvious and needed to be rescued? But I must admit that this episode is definitely not boring. It's really well paced, and most of the designs are really creative. Of course, with the exception of the reused flying creatures, did they really think nobody will notice if they reuse them more than once? Or did they have no time for doing something else? And of course, just like in almost every single episode, they show several times Mr. Kyle handling the transporter instead of Mr. Scott, as you can see by the mustache. Now, I think that if you decide to watch this one, you won't be disappointed. It's far from perfect, but it's very enjoyable. I would give it 7 out of 10. But as always, those were just my opinions. Feel free to write down your opinions down in the comment section. If you like this type of videos, I'm doing them every week, so hit that thumbs up button and watch any of my previous videos from this series or any other videos on my channel, and come back next week when I'll talk about the final episode of the first season of the animated series called The Jihad. And I am already thinking about how will I call my video so that the demonetization bot doesn't think the video will be about Muslim extremists. But until then, thanks a lot for watching and goodbye.